everyone, I'm Alison Howard and we are back with another edition of the Wedding Wednesday Report brought to you by myself and the Wedding and Event Institute. This month we are diving into the always interesting topic of pricing. Setting your prices as a new wedding planner is probably one of the more difficult parts of starting your business because most other wedding planners in your market aren't easily going to share with you what they charge. I remember really struggling with this as a new wedding planner because I just wasn't sure how to price my services. Luckily for you, you have help. Like I said last week, when determining your prices, keep in mind your level of experience, your education, overhead, labor, your niche, and don't forget about what your local wedding market will bear. To review, there are 4 ways you can set your pricing. Number 1, you can offer a fixed fee, which we discussed last week. Number 2, you can set your pricing based on a percentage of the overall wedding budget. Number 3, you can charge by the hour. And number 4, you can create packages. Today we're going to explore pricing based on the percentage of the overall wedding budget, which is pretty self-explanatory. You charge based on what the couple is spending on their overall wedding. For example, if you decide to charge 10% of the overall wedding budget and the couple is spending $50,000 on their wedding, then your fee would be $5,000. The pros of this pricing structure is that it's simple and straightforward, and once you're working with higher budgets, you'll be making more per wedding. The major con is that when you're starting out and don't have a huge portfolio or experience, you will most likely attract weddings with a lower budget. From personal experience, I can tell you that charging a percentage is a good way to go, but if you use this method, you have to have a starting price. For example, you list on your website that your pricing starts at $1,500, but if someone with a budget of $40,000 wants to hire you to plan their entire wedding from start to finish, I would definitely quote them $4,000. If all they wanted was help on the day of their wedding, then I would stick with your rate of $1,500. So in this case, that would kind of be a fusion of the flat rate method, which we discussed last week, and the percentage method. When I receive a new inquiry, the 2 most important pieces of information that I need from the prospective client to determine how I will set my pricing for their event is overall budget and guest count. I'm obviously not going to quote someone with a $40,000 budget who has 100 guests, the same as someone with a $90,000 budget who has 100 guests. Even though their guest count is the same, I know from experience that the person with a higher budget is going to have a more complex wedding logistically with several moving parts because they can afford to do so. And that means I will spend many more hours working with them. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of the Wedding Wednesday Report. We would love to hear your feedback on today's topic, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss me each week. You can stay up to date with news, tips, and inspiration from the world of weddings and events every day by dropping by the Special Event Experts blog. And for some great behind-the-scenes action from our shoots, visit me on Instagram. Join me next week where we'll explore the method of hourly pricing. See you all then.